Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. This is your match review for Chelsea versus Sevilla, which finished, weirdly enough, it finished 0-0 on the night. I mean, I never thought I'd say that. Again, it's been a while since we've seen a 0-0 at the Bridge. If you remember, I could probably say the last time we had a 0-0 was what, under Antonio Conte? I can't remember the last time we had a 0-0. We used to be so renowned for the 0-0s and clawing out a draw from the get-go, but that's when we needed a point. Yeah, that is just when we needed to go and get a point. And we would always go and get a point because we had so much grit and aggressiveness in the team that, we just knew no one would get past us. And we weren't too bothered if we couldn't attack and score a goal. However, tonight was a different story. Tonight, that wasn't the circumstance. We weren't chasing a point. It was quite the opposite. We wanted to win. I mean, this is against a Sevilla team that we know is set up really, really well. But we're at home. It's the initiative. It's the first game of the group. It's, you want to get off to a start, especially against the toughest opponent. You want 3 points. Now, in hindsight, 0-0, when you think about it, clean sheet. Yeah, okay. Yeah, clean sheet. Okay. We've had, one clean sheet against Crystal Palace. Have we had another clean sheet this season? I don't think so. So when you look in that aspect, okay. But that's pretty much it, Sevilla will be more happy with a point than Chelsea will be tonight. That's for sure, because Sevilla have come to Stamford Bridge. They have already played their hardest game of the group, and they didn't lose. And funnily enough, Sevilla are in really good form. I heard that they've only lost 2 out of their last 21 or 26 games. I mean, over 20 games. They've only lost 2. I think that's pretty much impressive. Quite impressive for Sevilla. So, fair play to Sevilla. They came, they could have won. But, leaving with a point is a good result for them. Now, for us, we still need to go to Sevilla. A lot of people forget that, which means that the games against Rennes and the games against Krasnodar, we got to take really seriously, and we got to hope that we get 3 points in pretty much each of them to guarantee us at least going through, but hopefully top spot. Let's get into the detail of what went down tonight. Let's start off with the starting 11 and what Frank Lampard chose as opposed to what I chose yesterday in my preview, which I told you about, and I'll get to all of that a little later. But let's start with what Frank Lampard went with. Mendy in goal, so Mendy returns. Reece James, right back. Ben Chilwell, left back. Kurt Zouma and Thiago Silva as our centre-back pairing. Kante and Jorginho in the pivot. Mason Mount on the left wing. Pulisic on the right wing, Kai Havertz in the number 10 position, and Timo Werner up front. Now, this team is nearly what I said yesterday needs to be done. Nearly, right? The exceptions are Jorginho's playing instead of Kovacic, and Mason Mount is on the pitch, except for Ziyech. And I did say if Ziyech wasn't going to play, then Hudson-Odoi should have been the one to play. But hey, we got Mason Mount. I'm going to start off with that one point in itself. Mason Mount. I haven't really spoken about Mason Mount on this channel. I've kept it on the low, and I've done that intentionally. Why? Because very early on, there was criticism about Mason Mount. And there were, the ones that praise him and the ones that hate him. But hate for me is a strong word. You can't hate the boy. You can't hate him. You can hate the way he's used. Yes. You can not agree with how he's being utilised or how many games he's playing. Cool. But for me, like him, he has no say in the matter. If you've got a problem, you pick it up with Frank Lampard. You don't pick it up with Mason Mount. He's doing what he's asked to do. Simple as that. Now, on the pitch, is he being asked? Is he doing what he's asked to do? I don't really know. But I didn't really say much. I thought, let's give it a little bit of time. He might shine through. This season, I'm talking, not last season. Last season was a different circumstance. We didn't have a choice. The young players had to step in. Now, we've got signings. We've got players in and around. We've got availability. Hudson-Odoi has committed his future. This, that, and the other. Mason Mount, I find in the starting lineup. Where? On the left-hand side, taking Pulisic's position, which means Pulisic is out of position, again, just like he was against Southampton. It's like we didn't learn any lessons from Southampton. Why? It was clear that Pulisic was out of position. Pulisic is a left winger. Ziyech can't start? Okay, even though, in my opinion, he can. But hey, that's just me. Maybe he can't. Maybe he's not 100%. I can't really believe that. But anyway, if Ziyech can't start, well, Hudson-Odoi is sitting there on the touchline like a packet of M&Ms. what use is he on the bench? Do you know what I mean? He is a natural winger. And funnily enough, when you look at the way that they set up Sevilla and the way that we played, you could see we could have done with a little more width. We could have done with a little more width. And Hudson-Odoi with his pace might have been able to provide that. But hey, we move. Mason Mount, especially the first half. First half, he had a shocker. And not just him. The entire midfield was open. But not just the midfield. The midfield was open in a sense of we weren't commanding, we weren't pressing hard enough, we weren't being as aggressive. But the entire team, whenever Sevilla had the ball, we weren't marking. We were just ball watching. The first half I'm talking about, we were just ball watching. We were just like looking at Sevilla play their football and go, yeah, that's a nice pass. Hey, yeah, that's a good skill we done there. Yeah, instead of actually going to the man and trying to recuperate the ball. There was none of that. There was none. And it got quite frustrating. I was quite happy for the fact that we went into half-time 0-0 because Sevilla were playing some really slick football and they could have taken a lead if they had tried hard enough. Now, credit to our elements of our defence, especially with Edouard Mendy in goal. He made some good saves today. Fair play to him. Thiago Silva, very good game. Some moments in the game where, I hate to use the term, but it was very JT-esque. You know, his command in the air, his direction, and one point, Thiago Silva telling Mendy to go long. None of this, let's try and start out from the back, pass, allow pressure, start panicking and nonsense. Yeah, none of that. Mendy, boot it up the pitch. And fair play, Thiago Silva, experience coming in. He done just that. So fair play to Thiago Silva, very good game. Now, there's one point that I want to talk about. Before we get into the latter stages of the game, because I've got one thing to mention as well. But when we made the substitutions, we brought Hakim Ziyech on in the 62nd minute for Mason Mount. Good sub, because Ziyech can now go to the right-hand side. Pulisic can now go to his preferred left-hand side. And what happened to Pulisic? He didn't have a good game. He did not have a good game, but I am not going to blame him one bit. The man was out of position. You know, he is not as good on the right as he is on the left. And you could see he was frustrated throughout the game. So when he did make his way to the left-hand side, yes, he got into his element a little bit more, but it just wasn't enough, you know. If he had started the game on the left-hand side, we might have seen something. But anyway, from the 62nd minute onwards, we got to see Pulisic on his left-hand side, Ziyech coming on the right. 3 minutes later, we took off Jorginho as he was on a yellow card and brought on Mateo Kovacic. So, from the 65th minute up until, what was it, the 89th, 90th, 89th? I think it was about the 89th, 90th. We played with the starting 11 that I wanted yesterday. We played with the 11 on the pitch that I thought was best to start the game with. And look how much more balance we had. Look at the contribution that Kovacic made. You see the difference in midfield that Kovacic brought? It allowed Kante to sit a little bit. It allowed Kovacic to do what he does best and penetrate through, dribble through, create some forward-thinking movements, allow Kai Havertz to get into some space, allow Pulisic to combine with. There was a little bit more action going on. And with Ziyech on the pitch, there was a couple of moments where he was able to come onto his left-hand side, ping a ball into the box, and unfortunately, Timo Werner couldn't reach one, and Pulisic was a little bit too short, and his position should have been a little bit wider, because if he would have made it. But there was more to the game. There was more coming to the game. In the rest of the game, all we saw was Timo Werner get the ball and just try and dribble past the defender and just try and hit the ball on target. And fair play to Timo. He didn't set a foot wrong today. He done everything that he could in the circumstances. Sevilla have a good defence. Fair play. They're very good at closing down. They're very good at, piling on the space and really putting pressure on you, whether that's offensively or defensively. They're very good at that. So Timo Werner, I'm not going to really say much about him. But there's one thing, right? There's one thing, because as I've just said, we had the team that I wanted to see. Right, for 25 minutes, we had the 11 that I wanted to see, and I saw things, clicking, and I saw things that were starting to get better. We got a little bit more composure. Got to the 89th minute, and at that point, I kind of knew it was going to finish 0-0. But someone explained this one to me, because I can't even get my head around this one. Tammy Abraham coming on for Timo Werner, like for like, and Callum Hudson-Odoi coming on for Pulisic, like for like, with 3 minutes to go. and not 3 minutes of normal time. We had already had the board up for 3 minutes of injury time. Why? What is that going to do? Lampard, mate, if you are watching, I would love an explanation on that one. I really would. And this isn't a, let's try and pile all the pressure on Lampard kind of video. No, I'm just being as real as possible. I saw that and thought, what? Why? Hudson-Odoi touched the ball once, or twice. There was once where he nearly got it, and then the second time where he tried to dribble pass and the guy cut him off. Tammy touched the ball once. There's no need to make substitutions and waste time like that, especially when there is still a little bit of time, couple of minutes, but a little bit of time where we might score a goal. You never know. We might score a goal. If in that situation you really want us to score, well, bring on an attacker and take off a defender. Can't really do that against Sevilla, but if you want to take the risk, cool. At that point, I will understand why you've made that substitution, but bringing on like for like with 3 minutes of stoppage time to go and you're 0-0 at home, Baffled. But apart from that, wasn't really much to the game, was there? To be honest, look, if I'm going to summarize and round this video up, Sevilla, fair play to them. They played some really good football. They had portions of the game where they had full control. They were able to find loads of space for themselves. Space where we should be closing down and we didn't. And we allowed them to get through. And had it not been for elements of our defending today, they probably would have scored. So fair play to our back line and to Edouard Mendy. But in terms of our midfield and collectively, defensively, there was a lot of space left for Sevilla to play their football, where we really should have closed them down and man-marked a little better, and we didn't. But on a positive note, we got a clean sheet. Subscribe if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button. Let's try and get 7,000 likes. And I'll see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Just to let you know, the other game, PSG have lost 2-1 to Manchester United at home. Yes, Man United have beaten PSG 2-1. And our next game is against Man United. I kind of don't know what to think about that. But I'm hoping that the last 25 minutes of that game, prior to Hudson-Odoi and Tammy Abraham coming on, showed us what we are working with and what we can do. And hopefully we have something to build on now. That should be the 11 that I think we go with from now on. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I'd love to hear it. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Look after yourselves. Take care. And peace.